Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 of Gambit's Cup. Here we go. Hey, I almost timed that well. Alright, game number 1. Spawning. As the purple Zerk at the top left, we have LRM Technics. Spawning as the brown Terran at the bottom right. We have Reps Largo. Let's get some good old brewer music. Oh, you guys hear anything? I don't hear anything. Oh, I hear a little bit. Let's make it louder. Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. LRM Technics, Reps Largo. And they are... what is it? Z1 T5? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Hey, cool. Alright. I don't know why this thing's all wonky though. It's annoying me. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Sorry, I'm using a new overlay thingamajig today. So it should be slightly better-ish. But I didn't really test it out. You guys shouldn't really be able to tell the difference, but it's actually entirely rewritten. So yeah. Anyway, looks like Overlord going in the wrong direction. We are on Sniper Ridge, I believe. That's what it looks like. And this could be interesting. So, LRM, of course, one of the top teams in the foreign scene, but Reps seems to kind of have their number. It's like one of those funny rivalry. It's kind of like I guess the Pro League analogy would be like LRM is SKT and Reps is STX Seoul. So like SKT, they're a top-notch team. They got a ton of good big name players like Bakuryu and whatnot. And they do really well generally, but for some reason Reps, I believe, has a winning record against them. They're like 2-1 or something. I remember last week or a couple of weeks ago I casted LRM versus Reps, like a proper match, and Reps actually took that 4-2, I believe. Or actually no, 4-3. It actually came down to the last game, so that was quite interesting. And Largo actually in that match got a 3 kill against LRM. I think that's what happened. Yeah, something like that. Anyway. So let's see what happens this time. Of course, the reason it's analogous to SKT and STX is that STX for some reason always beats SKT in Pro League. I don't understand it. I think they beat them. I think STX actually were 2-1 against SKT in Pro League last season, or something like that. So that's quite funny. Yeah, we do have a 1-Rex expand here from Largo. And that's gonna get warded away by the Mariner, doing a bit of SimCity-age here. That's actually quite high, so it's gonna be a little bit awkward. It's like on some maps, like on Fighting Spirit, you can do 1 depot, 1 bunker, and it walls with your command center, but here obviously it's not gonna wall with the command center. The bunker's like about that big or something, so there'll be a gap there, but that's not a huge deal. As long as you SimCity it a little bit against some crazy link shenanigans. I don't think Technics is a particularly cheesy player anyway though, so it's like, it's not, it should be fine. I think he's gonna get away. Oh no, no, he's not. Yeah, but like you know, because if Largo is playing against someone like I don't know South Park or Eon Zerg, you might want to think about that a little bit more. But against Technics, no problem. And we do have a 3-hatch build, 3-hatch opening from our LRM Zerg, who has made 6 lings to poke the front. How many Marines do we have? Just 1 so far. A second Marine coming out. The bunker. Oh no, sorry. There's 3 Marines now. He didn't get a kill, did he? Okay, no, he didn't. He was just chasing the drone around. And that should be enough. He might need to use these 2 SCVs to block or something, because these lings could actually just run by. Yeah, that's going to be slightly annoying. But, oh, run to the bunker, and this is actually not going to end too well for Technics here. He got 1 Marine kill for 6 Zerglings. That's really not a good exchange. I mean, you know, he caused a little bit of lost mining time there. The SCVs. I don't actually know if that was just luck from Largo to have that transfer timing, or if he actually did that on purpose. But either way, it worked out quite nicely for him. I didn't actually pay attention to exactly how early he saw those lings, but yeah, that didn't go so well for Technics. But that's okay. It's just a small little exchange there. Meanwhile, scouting SCV, seeing what's going on, sees a 3-hatch lair. He's not going to be overly concerned about what's going on, and is almost certainly going to be 3-hatch Muta. Which of course is quite nice on this map because you have these minerals pressed right against the cliff edge here, so the mutas can do some nice back and forth harassment there. Oh, looks like SCV gets taken down. In fact, there's actually very little space even to build turrets. It's like even more obnoxious than Fighting Spirit cliff thingy. Like I don't think you can build any down here, so you actually have to build them like in your mineral line and at the top of the mineral line or something like that. Let's actually see how Largo builds his turrets. It's gonna be pretty tricky. And there's a spire at the 3rd base. So if Largo happens to scan the main and the natural, he will not see the spire, but I think he will assume what's going on right now. Meanwhile, I think he's gearing up for a bit of an attack here. Not really an attack, but a bit of pressure on Technics. Maybe try to scare him into building a couple of extra creep colonies or something. Speaking of which, Technics actually didn't build any yet, so definitely Largo definitely wants to make this move. Wants to have him build at least 1, and he is doing that now. Got a couple more lings at home as well, and he's got, looks like 8 speedlings ready to go, either backstab or just flank from or flank the force when it moves out. But it looks like Technics assumed that the force moved out already and is just going straight in. But that's the anti-timing here. The force was sitting there waiting. So Technics not only is going to lose a couple of lings there for free and run and take some damage, but also his idea there, his plan to counterattack has been revealed. So now Largo's going to be a lot more careful in how he moves out and how many forces he leaves at home. Probably will leave a couple of fire bats. Just to make sure that the lings don't come in and do too much damage. In fact, he's just not going to move out at all here. So, I mean, that does mean that Technics will be able to get away with 1 sun colony just fine, and he is now making his mutas. I believe all 9 muta should be spawning from these eggs. Yep. Oh, it looks like he made 1 into an overlord, so got a little bit supply blocked. That's not a big deal, and it's now sending the drone over to the top left to get that 3rd base. Meanwhile, what's going on in Largo's base? Looks like eBay has just finished. No turrets just yet. It's gonna want to start those very soon here. The mutas are about to pop. He really needs to start these turrets. Oh, there we go. Wow. Very nice timing. And looks like the Ling counterattack is coming in again as the Marines move out. How much damage is this going to do? There's 1 firebat there. That firebat could be crucial here, but the medic didn't heal the firebat. It healed the Marines instead. And this is actually going to be very, very painful for Largo because he wants these Marines to defend against the incoming Mutalisks. And did that Zergling just attack the other Zergling? I could have sworn that's what just happened, but meanwhile, the 1 sunken now is not enough. Technics going to have to use these muta to defend, and oh man, this could actually be very, very painful for him. I think with good muta micro, he might be okay here, but he's probably going to take quite a bit of damage, and oh man, how many mutas is he going to lose here? The firebat, meanwhile, roasting drones, looks like he snaps that firebat's neck before he can get too many drone kills, and is just going to attack with the incoming lings. Will manage to take them out, but I think he's down to just like 3 mutas right now, 4 mutas. I can't go. No, actually, I think there's a couple more in that flock, but he did lose a couple of mutas from that attack, so both players exchanging blows, and as I said, kind of a awkward positioning of turrets here. It still gives a lot of space for the mutas to micro at the back there, and looks like Technics might just go for a muta-ling assault on the front here, but really not that many mutas, as I said. So yeah, maybe better off not doing that, and I think Largo has enough here to stop it. I like these turrets at the top here, kind of covering the ramp and the barracks there. But Technics has no real need to press the issue here. He's got his 3rd base up at the top right, top left, and looks like he does have his lurker aspect on the way. So he should be fine. Looks like a couple of things just poking around here, seeing what they can see. And looks like 4th barracks factory's done. Gonna want to start that starport ASAPly, get some vessels out, because as soon as the first vessel comes out, that's basically gonna shut down those mutalisks completely, and also allow him to move out without fear of any kind of hold lurker shenanigans. Oh, I hear some scans going down. I didn't actually catch them where they went, but presumably he did scan the top left main, or at least assumes that it's there. Of course, that is the most common spot for the Zerg to take their third. In the meantime, Marines poking around in the front. The mutas really haven't done too much damage. They're not even stacked right now. Just kind of poking around, but I don't think they've actually done anything here. And Largo keeping a nice tight building placement here. He's got just the pairs of turrets here to defend, and a few more turrets at the natural, just because you can't quite position them as well. I like that he actually led with an SCV there, just to see exactly what was in front of him. A bit of a, you know, a scouting SCV, a skirmishing SCV to lead the way for the main force here. But oh man, he's just gonna go for it, trying to do a nice split there. He skewers a few Marines, and the Muta's coming in, but Technics, as I said, hasn't got them stacked, didn't have them moving, so wasn't able to really do the nice micro against them. Technics showing a bit of lackluster Muta control this game, surprisingly. He's should have, I mean, I'd expect some really good Muta micro from Technics, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully no lag in this game. Hopefully they haven't borrowed some of Team China's lag. Meanwhile, looks like it looks like a single lurker here. He might have them stacked. No, it looks like, okay, a second one's coming back. But a popular trick for Zerg is actually to burrow lurkers on top of each other, so it looks like there's only one there, and if the Terran scans it and sees that, he might try and break it and then runs into like 3 lurkers and loses all his Marines. It's actually quite funny when it happens. And it's basically impossible to tell, I think. Unless you, like, if you spam click, I think sometimes you click different lurkers, but if they all have 0 kills and no damage, then it's actually impossible to tell how many there are, as far as I'm aware. If anyone has a cool trick for actually figuring out how many there are, please let me know. And it looks like siege mode almost done, and a dropship first before the first vessel. So Largo not going to go for that SK Terra and, you know, skip siege tanks entirely. He's going to do a pretty strong mid-game attack here, while the Mutas try and hold him back. Doing a good job here abusing this little ridge thingy. Of course, this does count as high ground, so the Marines over here kind of have to look up at the high ground. Although they had a tank on the top spotting for them anyway, so I don't think that matters. But a good number of lurkers are out. So, you know, Technics is buying time right now, but even if the attack goes right now, I think Technics has enough lurkers to defend. Meanwhile, looks like the Mutas just ran around the entire force. Largo being a little bit timid here, I think. I think you could just go for it. He's going for it now. But as I said, there's plenty of forces for Technics now. And just trying to keep an eye on exactly where these Marines are. Wants to get the perfect flank attack off. Look at this. He's got, looks like a few random units though, just like running around his base. Meanwhile, Hive is almost done. Radiate on the way. Vessel on the way. Is that the first vessel? Yeah, it looks like that is the first vessel. First dropship is out though, so perhaps might be able to do some elevator into the top left or something. Oh man, these could potentially be stop lurkers, I'm not really sure. They are kind of far out there, so I feel like they might be. And they actually spot the dropship that's going in, so Largo moving to the top right towards the main, or towards the natural with his main force, and going for the drop, but does get scourged, so that drop goes down without unloading a single unit there. 7 Marines and a medic, I would assume, in that dropship. So that's a pretty nice little win there for Technics. But Largo is now sieging down his front. It's a really small-looking Terran army, though, and 5 lurkers are coming in from the back. This could be it here. Although, oh man, Technics messes up, though. Technics loses a lurker, reveals the fact that he has lurkers on the other side, and immediately pulls back, feels that he doesn't have enough units. I mean, I don't think his defilers are going to be nearly in time to help defend this. Yeah, the defiler man's only halfway done here, so he's got to get it done with his units, I think. And that's a lot of siege tanks. That's 4 siege tanks here with more reinforcements coming on the way. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised Technics isn't at least using these lurkers to, you know, burrow in the reinforcement path and cut off reinforcements. I think he's just trying to wait and get a perfect surround. And here we go, the lurkers moving in a little bit far back, but there are the lurkers from the back. And he's got to have a... Largo's got to spread the Marines a little bit. Nice defense matrix on that one Marine. So many more medics than Marines right now. Oh man, it's a medic party here, but the medics are not going to kill anything, although if they heal fast enough, it looks like, are they going to be enough? No, 4 more lurkers coming in. The siege tank goes down. I think that siege tank was critical here, and Largo should pull back. Yeah, it looks like Largo is going to have to pull back. A very bloody battle there, but Technics does get the better in the exchange, I think, because he's now got his 4th base on the way. His defiler tech should be up. Yeah, it looks like Consume is on the way now. And he's just got to push these Terran units back. Oh man, Largo not paying attention there, I think. Losing another big chunk of his medic marine army. He's actually going quite high in the money here, suffering a little bit on the macro, and still no third base as far as I can see. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Usually while all this is going on, the Terran is also taking a third. I mean, you know, Technics is doing it properly, taking a fourth while the engagements are happening. Largo, meanwhile, has done like the mini mech switch, like the earlier mech switch, where you just mass vultures with mines to try and counteract the lurker-ling defiler composition of the Zerg, and it's quite effective, except for the fact that he doesn't really have map control, so it's a little bit difficult for him now to place really nice mines. Like, ideally, he would have wanted this force at the front to still be alive, or at least holding somewhat, so he could lay a bunch of mines at the front here and kind of keep the Zerg in his natural, and then he could like lay a bunch of mines on this side as well and just kind of pin the Zerg back for the time being. But that is actually not the case right now. Meanwhile, looks like finally the third base is going up, but that definitely feels late to me. Meanwhile, Dark Swarm is up, and here we go. The first vessel gets scourged. There's another vessel there, but where is the defense matrix? Or did he irradiate? Actually, no, he probably irradiated. Never mind. I saw the vessel like flash and do something, but I didn't actually see what spell got cast. Actually, wait a minute. No, I think he did defense matrix because I heard the sound effect of a defense matrix, and none of these lurkers is actually irradiated, so I don't actually know what happened there. But whatever it was not good for Largo. Simple as that. And meanwhile, looks like Technics has failed to rally these two hatcheries or something. Okay, looks like he's found the units at least. He's got a lurker borrowed up here. I have no idea why that's there. Probably was in a hotkey or something and got stuck at the top during the engagement. So when he, you know, clicked the hotkey and hit U, it just borrowed at the top of the ramp in a random place. It's probably not going to find that actually. It's kind of a random lurker, but that's alright. And oh, it looks like the mine's doing a little bit of work here. A lot of vultures actually going out to the top left. There's a couple of lurkers there. There's a couple of sunken colonies. The defiler will keep those lurkers safe, but the thing is the drones will not be nearly as safe. 120 supply now for Largo versus 98 for Technics. Looks like still an okay position for both players. I'd say Technics is definitely a bit ahead, but third base now going up for Largo, and he's certainly not out of it. His army just seems really, really small though. Look at this. I mean, he's got a big group of vultures here, but where's the rest of his army? I'm not actually sure what he's building, because he's kind of done... Okay, he's actually going to go full mech now. He's lifted all his barracks, but he hasn't got his factories yet, so I feel like this might be a little bit early. See, he's still just like massing vultures, but what is he actually going to spend his money on? Because on 3 bases, 3 fact vaults is not really going to spend your money. He needs to throw down at least like 3 more factories right now and start pumping out, you know, Goliath/siege tanks that are really going to eat into his money here, because this is just going to keep shooting up here. I don't know, like it's actually not even possible for him to spend it fast enough. It's not even a matter of having good macro. He just doesn't have enough landed production facilities to make enough stuff. Meanwhile, it looks like the vultures have spotted this 5th base here at the 12 o'clock, going to get taken down by these cracklings. It's like one vulture might barely survive. And a couple of random mutas going out. Did he get a greater spire? Oh, he is grading a greater spire. You see, the point of these 2 mutas is they're actually going to go over here and turn into guardians and just be super obnoxious. You don't need that many. You only need 2, right? Because at the very least, the Terran will have either spend 2 irradiates or waste time making a wraith. And if you notice, Technics only has a single starport here, so he really doesn't want to be wasting time on that starport making the wraith. Looks like, oh, actually, there's 4 mutas here, and they've actually denied this bottom left 4th here, and I think that was actually killed. I do not think that was cancelled. That looked very close there, but I feel like that might not have been cancelled. Small mistake there from Largo, but he's doing some more harassment here at the 12 o'clock, killing a few drones. Might possibly even get this hatchery, a few Zerglings coming in, but they're not going to do too much against these vultures. Vultures pretty good against Zerglings. And now the mutas are going in the back here. Is the Greatest Spire? It's not quite done yet, but they will turn into Guardians at the soonest opportunity. Meanwhile, 3 o'clock being taken as well by Largo, kind of taking a base closer to the Terran, but that's alright, because there's just so much stuff happening all over the map. I don't think Largo would even be aware of that base, but he is going to be happy about taking down the 12 o'clock, and is now establishing this base. Looks like building a bit of a random command center there. Oh, he's building 2 command centers! Alright! Like a man, like a boss. But the Guardians are morphing in the back. And 12 o'clock will go down to just pure vultures. They are 1-1 now because he did get the double armories. Looks like hasn't gotten 2-2 yet, unless it like just finished. No. Actually, that'd be way too fast for 2-2 to finish. Anyway, looks like the Guardians have finished. Ooh, I was going to compliment him on leaving these two as mutas, because that basically prevents your opponent from making one Wraith and killing everything, but then he made them into Guardians anyway. I feel like he should at least leave one of these as a muta, because I think a muta, actually I'm not sure if a muta beats a Wraith one-on-one, it's pretty close. I think the Wraith might win, but if he just left these two as mutas, he could you know, force Largo to use only Irradiates to kill these. It looks like that's what Largo is doing anyway. So that's going to take care of that, but it did kill a number of SCVs. He's going to deny some mining there, and it's like a bunch of mines laid over the corpse, over the ruin of that hatchery. However, the 3 o'clock has gone up uncontested, although this engineering bay is going to at least see the creep. I'm not sure if it's actually close enough to see the hatchery. It's going to see the creep, and that's going to let him know that that's there. Meanwhile, notice that Technic's adding quite a few Hydras into his composition now. He's actually gotten the Hydra upgrades, it seems, Hydra speed and range. And of course, that is to counteract all of these vultures laying spider mines all over the place. I mean, Hydras and Mutas is really the only ranged units in the Zerg army that can run around clearing mines, so obviously you're not going to make Mutas for that purpose. But Largo, while this has been going on, has now gotten these 2 bases at the bottom left, even though he lost that command center at the main earlier on. Had enough money banked to replace that, and he's got a few SCVs over here now, but still not a very good saturation though. Actually, wait a minute, he's just got not very many SCVs. What the hell? Alright, I don't know if he just lost a ton to those Guardians or something, but he does not seem to have very many. So the Guardians are all dead now, so I can't click them. It's been unfortunate, but anyway. Let's see, what about supply-wise? 176 for Technics, only 141 for Largo. Ooh, that would also explain a lot here. So Largo, even though he's got him to 5 bases again, just has almost nothing here. I mean, the funny thing is, he's actually on basically even bases with the Zerg. Technics isn't even mining from the 3 o'clock, so, you know, I mean, technically Largo has more bases, but you know, with almost no SCVs and almost no army, I'm not exactly sure how long that's going to last. He does have quite a nice position here at the left side though, but whoa, gotta be careful with these science vessels. It's not just Scourge that can kill vessels here, the Hydras can do it too. Being cute there, morphing the irradiated Hydra into a lurker. Funnily enough, the irradiate stops doing, or doesn't do damage to the egg there. Not quite sure the logic behind that. I'm pretty sure if you irradiate like a chicken egg, you're gonna get a dead baby chicken. It won't actually come out alive, but I don't know, I've never actually tried it. Meanwhile, oh man, just morphing a bunch of Guardians at the front here. He's actually going to use them not just for harassment, but as part of his main army. And that's not a bad idea. I mean, you know, when you're facing a meching player, Mass Hydra, Muta, and eventually Mass Guardian is often the way to go. Oh, looks like going to grab one of these vessels. But Largo's slowly pushing out, just trying to secure this position here. But oh man, that's a lot of units coming in here. There's only 3 Siege Tanks in the back, but 3 Siege Tanks can do a lot of damage though. The Hydras are all clumping up here. They're trying to close with the Siege Tanks. Got to be a little bit careful, but I think it's going to go Technics' way here. Nice defense matrix on that tank, but there's a couple of Guardians in the back as well. This is actually going to be a very close exchange. Defense matrixing the Vulture as well is, I think, going to allow him to clean up all of the ground forces here. And with a couple of reinforcing Goliaths coming in, he's going to clean up the Guardians as well. But while all this is happening, Technics expanding to the 9 o'clock. So Technics essentially has the entire top half of the map, including both side expansions. So, you know, as this game goes on longer, he's just going to have a huge resource advantage going into the late game. He isn't really mining at all, though. Has he mined anything from this? No, this base hasn't mined at all. He's had this for like, you know, 5 or 6 minutes or longer, I think, and just hasn't really used it at all. I guess with all the a million different things going on in the game, it's a little bit hard. And it looks like Largo has kind of replenished his SCV count here, so he's mining away a lot happier now. He's got a lot of gas banked, but can't really help too much about that. Nothing really good to spend that on. Oh, looks like a big drop coming in, but so many turrets here. It's like an anti-recall defense. The Vultures come in. They didn't quite get the mines off in time, though. So it looks like, oh man, a lot of the units are going to get down here despite Largo anticipating this move. He killed a lot of the Overlords there, a lot of the units completely supply block Technics, 157 of 129, and I don't think this attack is really going to do too much. He's going to kill all the turrets, going to kill a couple of units, but that's going to be it. Really costly drop there for Technics, really actually even at the supply counts. He's now at 148 to the 138 of Largo, still slightly in favor of Technics, which of course is better for Zerg as well, since Terran usually wants to be at least even or slightly ahead. I think when you're going mech, if you're not that far ahead of the Zerg in supply, that's actually alright. When you're going bio, you want to be a little bit further ahead, but Anyway, interestingly enough, though, Largo rather, is kind of holding this awkward middle position, but Technic's gonna kind of like come around the side and just attack this. There's only one bunker with 2 Marines there. The defensive position is in a bit of an awkward spot. Meanwhile, a bit of an attack here towards the 6 o'clock base, but there are some units here to defend, so I don't think that's going to go well. And Technics should probably pull back there. He's in a bit of a funny spot here. There's spider mines on all sides. I'm not really sure how he thinks he's going to move forward here. He's like right outside the Terrence Natural where all the reinforcements are, so as you can see, he's being pushed back here. Looks like he's just going to try and break this small little random position that Largo made for himself. I'm really not sure about this position. It's so weird that Largo kind of invested so heavily in this spot. It's kind of like between his 6 o'clock base and the bottom left natural, but doesn't really defend either very well. Oh, a bit of focus fire on the science vessels by Technics. Really, excuse me, by Technics. Really cool move there. I was actually watching what's that stream's name? The I Love Jesus stream on Team Liquid. Whoa! Big mine hits, 2 lurkers do go down. And I actually saw a really cool move where it was like super late game ZBT, and the Zerg plagued a bunch of vessels, and then also ensnared them and just used 2 Hydras to kill like 8 science vessels. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Hey, it looks like this little attack at the bottom left. Oh, wait, is there a tank back there? Oh, tank on the high ground, so BM. I don't think he can actually kill this though. He's gonna have to lay some mines or something. There's actually nothing that will kill this lurker under the Dark Swarm. With 1 Guardian being obnoxious. Meanwhile, 9 o'clock is mining. I don't know why there's so many Scourge here. And it looks like 3 o'clock is finally saturated here. I guess he mined at a couple of other bases. Looks like... Oh, no, I thought this would be a drop. But looks like it's actually not. Meanwhile, what is going on here? The Terrans mined out his main as natural, but it looks like the 6 o'clock's actually still got a decent number of minerals here. And he's got the bottom left. 2 bases, of course. I'm a little bit surprised he doesn't have very many factories here. I think just because of all the action that's been going on. But oh, looks like there we go. There actually is a drop going down here. There's a couple of mines here, a couple of turrets, but not nearly as many defenses as last time. And this drop is going to do a lot more damage, especially with the addition of Ultralisks here. The upgrade's not so good though. 3-0 for them against 2-2 mech army, so that's really going to hurt him in the long run. But this attack I think is going to be quite nice. Might actually... well, actually, these armies are not upgrading, so I was going to say he's going to deny an upgrade, but actually it's not doing anything. And a lot of Ultras come back here, even though Ultra's not exactly cost effective against Ultras, it's going to be fine. Yeah, bringing back a lot of siege tanks as well. And Largo is going to be just fine here. Technics, I mean, he's still in an okay position, but he seems to be struggling to figure out where he can attack and how he can finish the game. He's actually got almost no gas left. He's got a lot of minerals banked, but really Zerg needs that gas, kind of the opposite of this Terran situation right now, where Largo has a lot of extra gas banked. But Largo now at 178 supply against the 164. He's finally in the supply lead, I think, possibly for the first time in this game. Except for, I guess, you know, the super early game. He's in a supply lead, even though, you know, Technics is the one who's got all the extra bases. It doesn't really seem to matter here. Technics is doing a lot of inefficient attacks, and gonna scourge a barracks there as well. But he is taking the center expo. Don't think Largo actually knows about this. But where's Largo's army though? I mean, Largo's got 180 supply, but I don't see like a big ass mech force anywhere. Does he just have 1 million SCVs? Oh, it looks like they just stuck in the main base or something. Okay, they just came back from defending the drop. Hello, that's a lot of spider mines. It's like recall defense, except that when the overlords come in, they can detect it, so they'll see all the mines. It'll be funny if they drop the units anyway, though. It's kind of like, you know, don't care about their poor little minions, just send them to their deaths as a sacrifice for the swarm. But uh-oh, looks like Ultra Link coming in here. The army composition switching a little bit for Technics, going from Mass Hydra Lurker into Mass Ultra Link here, and this might be more effective. There's actually not... Wait, there's like no defense here. There's just 1 million turrets here. Turrets aren't going to do anything against against all these ground units. You're going to kill that Overlord for sure. That Overlord is dead as shit, but that is a lot of Zerg units coming in here. The Dark Swarm going to protect actually both sides here. The Ultras being protected from the Hydralisks. But Ultras now in the SCV line, irradiated Ultras in the SCV line, that's actually just going to help them because the Irradiate will actually splash the SCVs. And Largo, as I said, his army just seems really small considering his supply count. His money's also going a little bit high now, having a little bit of macro trouble as he controls his army, tries to save his SCVs and build units at the same time. Looks like he is going to kind of clean up these forces here, but he's lost a good number of SCVs. He's had to run them all over the place as well. And Technics, meanwhile, is staying max. Despite losing all these units in the midst of battle, he's at 194 supply. constantly, just spamming out units from all his hatcheries here. Largo dropping to 131. All of a sudden, Largo, who was slightly ahead in supply, has suddenly plummeted to 120 supply now, and Technics is rolling through the middle here. The mech army, of course, in these smaller numbers becomes a lot less cost efficient. You really need a solid core of siege tanks to make that effective. And even though I think he's going to clean up his force once again, more and more units are just streaming in here. Look at the cow train coming in. There's only 5 siege tanks here. A lot of them aren't even sieged up. And this could be the end for Technics. He's lost the bottom left 2 bases now. This is all he's got. I think that's going to be it. Or sorry, for Largo rather. Technics has it in the bag. Going to get the last of the science vessels. Maybe. It doesn't even matter. The 6 o'clock base is now completely undefended. A single marine in the bunker is not going to cut it. A few reinforcements coming out here, but against the 5-1 Ultralisk, it's just not enough here. Surprisingly, look at this. Still only +1 melee attack for Technics, despite this game going on for like 35-40 minutes. Kind of just forgetting about his upgrades, but it doesn't really matter when you're just flooding in so many units. And it looks like the Ling's going to come in and take out this last mining base of Largo here. I don't know what he can do anymore. He's down to 90, sub 100 supply here, 93 against 168. Those SCVs just running into a lurker here. The Vulture's trying to help out. They are actually going to help out, but a lot of the SCVs go down anyway to the Cracklings. And it's only a matter of time here. It looks like, oh, Technics expanding underneath the lifted command center of Largo here, taking every single base left on the map, taking the bottom left 2 bases. He wants it all. He did lose the middle expansion, but that's not exactly a real expansion, I guess. And Technics just trying to finish off this game. Largo trying to hold on, trying to be a Terran. Doing what Terrans do, really, and just not leaving, floating all those buildings. But, you know, what are you going to do? Look at the SCV buddies repairing each other. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Actually, wait, no, this guy didn't repair the other guy. The other guy just repaired him. Alright. So Largo looks like he's going to die with 48 minerals and 2,600 gas. Might have been a good idea to invest in a few more science vessels, perhaps, but too late for that now, I suppose. Hindsight is 20/20. And that should be that. Waiting for Largo to give it up here. Technics just having a laugh. Gonna expand to the middle. Man, that... Could you imagine being an SCV train, walking through irradiated Ultralisks, running through a minefield? The amount of splash damage that's going on here. Might as well throw a storm in as well, see how they survive it. The funny thing is, though, that SCVs are just so ridiculously OP that they can survive anyway. Look at how much... Look at this guy. He's got 8 HP left. Like a mine blew up next to him. The Ultralisk. What does the Ultralisk attack? He like uses his claws or something? Like cut off his arms, but he's still alive. He's still okay. He's mining minerals without arms. And looks like we're gonna win with Zerglings and Mutas, which have no upgrades either, actually. Yeah. Come on, Largo. You're at 40 supply. GG! Technics takes the first game for LRM. And of course, since we are in Winners League style, Technics will stay on to play the second game. Largo is gone. Give me one